This is how we ride. This is how we do.
So hello, ladies and gentlemen, and after I don't even want to say interesting night, a shocking, crazy change of events, insane, something a lot of people have never seen before style night, we are here reflecting on some things. Want to give an update on Ashton, as there has been a few things that has occurred. One that came out last night was he passed back and neck tests, waiting on a CT scan. First thing he asked was what place he was in. So that's really cool. I mean, if he passed back and neck tests, apparently there was a post today where there was it was said he has no broken bones. There was some blood in the brain areas when they did that CT scan. So that was the update 2 hours ago. Right now it's 2 o'clock Central Time. So, but no broken bones. And, you know, he's wanting to know what place he's in. Is he going to show up and run the B main or something? D main, Z main? I don't know if that's capable or if that's actually going to happen or not. I would say no. I don't think anyone would blame if he's not there. But if he was to be there, that would be insane. That would be just as crazy as how bad that was last night. But I don't think that's going to happen. Hopefully he will recover and be okay. He's obviously doing way better than a lot of people were speculating when it first occurred. We did go live last night for about 3 hours. You know, it wasn't just a hey, little hit piece, here you go. It was 3 hours, and for the first hour, I opened the show giving deliberation on why or how I'm going to talk about it in a way what my position has been for some people out there, and I guess not everybody likes to hear me talk about things serious or not serious, but I equated the situation to, you know, ESPN after DeMar Hamlin had his situation. They didn't just shut ESPN down. How, you know, when JFK got shot, they just didn't shut down the news stations. And there is a difficulty in the responsibility to do that. It's hard because you're the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. Now, about an hour into it, after talking with somebody, learning some more information about the hands and the feet, I know a lot of people saw that there was a post out that his hands and feet were moving, or was getting a feeling in the hands and the feet, which rules out being paralyzed, which a lot of people were obviously concerned about. Those who saw the instant replays and all that. Obviously, there were some pretty hard hits there in some very sensitive areas. And luckily, with knowing that, we did proceed in showing some video and talking about it. Two angles that I was able to view. One angle was very public, which was the one from the broadcast. The other angle was from a drone that was not broadcasted. Both angles show some amazing things that did happen in this tragic situation. The one angle does get to show some possibilities of what could have happened, how things happened, when the driver actually became loose in the car, where he hit his head, how things happened. And obviously, there's a little bit of a weird stance right now with everyone to take the video and remove it from history. I've heard a lot of people being stressed and upset that it is being removed because they want to see what happens so that they can apply it to maybe their future careers, to make sure that this doesn't happen to them, to analyze certain situations, to see what actually happened. You know, there has been, I've heard in the pitting area, some drivers that don't necessarily tighten down enough, or don't do this enough, or don't really pay too much attention to this or that. I see a lot of posts 10 or 15,000 on a brand new motor, but 8-year-old belts. You know, a lot of safety aspects broadly, not the top levels, but broadly, are not being taken seriously sometimes. And a situation like this that occurred is going to make sure that these areas and segments of the racing on the track, with the drivers and how they get into these cars and what they do to strap in and mounting belts, etc., all the potential possibilities that cause this to happen, latches going all the way down, etc., these things are going to be looked at now more than once at the track before these guys go out onto the racing surface. In that live, we did talk about it. We did show it. And it was, like I said, about an hour and a half in after we got through all the segments of what could have happened, couldn't have happened. I don't want to show it. Once we got through hearing about some updates where he wasn't fatally injured or paralyzed, and we did talk about it. We did show it. We got the slow-mos. We got the 2 angles, and we did show it. And I'm not trying to be a platform where people can see it, but I am trying to be a platform where people can learn from it and see what happened and how things can go wrong. And there's honestly, in this clip, there's a lot of things that went right for Ashton to be moving around and have feelings in his extremities. And this could have been way, way worse. But I guess without talking too much here is what happened. This was the interaction last night when we went to the video. And you'll see 2 angles here. One being, once again, the regular broadcasted video, and the other angle being of a drone shot. A lot of things said here, analyzed, thought about, and, the rest is for your understanding and attention to detail going forward in this sport. So I'm going to let it go here, and this is what happened last night live here on the Chaz in discussing the scenario, that the tragedy, the shocking situation that occurred at the Chili Bowl Midget Nationals last night. The arms may have already undone the belt or something, because he didn't have no real, he was slinging around in there right at the initial flip.
Well, I'm just impressed that he didn't get run over, honestly, because, I mean, that was impressive that everyone halted so quickly, because I was like, holy crap, he's on the track. And then, I mean, people drove around, obviously, but.
So I guess I need to drop my balls and show the video. Is that what I need to do, Spike?
Well, I'll be honest with you. There's about I found 10 bootleg uploads that all have at least 3,000 views each already tonight. So I don't think that you dissecting this is a problem.
Okay. But this is actually what happened at the facility tonight. So this is the slow-mo version. Obviously, or honestly, the fast version, you can't see much, really. I mean, you see it come out, but you can't really see anything that's happening. Here you can actually, with this slow motion, see some of the stuff that's actually happened. Now, it cuts off there.
Oh, he's out right there.
Yeah. Now, hold on. So when I was saying belts came out, watch this. The belts definitely came off. Because watch this black slap to the ground. I don't know if anybody can see my mouse.
Yeah.
If you see the line right there, that is the belts coming all the way out. Right there with him.
Dang.
Slap. You can see the belts. They came out with them. So the belts did come undone. There is no belt was latched situation. Now look at this. This is what I was talking about with Jake Swanson. Possibly saving his life. And it's hard to say, saving life when life is how saved, still horrible. But if you look at that right there, like his head was going to the ground right here, wide open on a flip. And when Jake Swanson hit that car like that, if you notice, if you pay attention to where they put the names of the cars across the top of the front of the cage, it spins that part. I'm about to play it. It spins that part to the dirt before his head could get there, just on the sheer hit. It spins it to hit that top of the bar instead of him. So extremely lucky. I mean, this is inches we're talking about here, where that he slung that car around enough to where you could pretty much see it there, that the top of the cage hits the ground first. And then he comes out.
Yeah.
It like laid him on the ground, literally.
I still think he hit his head, though, because
he probably still hit his head, but it wasn't as bad. as just a straight up slammer to the ground that was about to happen. Like right at this point, this is about to be really bad right there, buddy. That's about to be way worse than what happened if that car goes around.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be way worse. But luckily, all that happened, that force, that kind of centrifugal force, kind of took that slam away, I think. But what I want some people to see is, like, watch this. You think, when did the belts come undone? You would think it would be a hit that kind of jolted his arms with arm straps to catch it. You would think that if the arm restraints did it. But watch him when he hits this initial hit here. Obviously, if you pay attention to his helmet, it stays a little bit, but right here, he's already moving around the car. Like, he's moving around at that point in the vehicle. After the one hit to the wall. And he's halfway moving pretty good right here when he gets this hit, because that really wasn't much of a move there, and he moved a lot. Right there, I mean, oh my, yeah, right there, it's already done. It might have been this nose shot that might have did it. Yeah, you could tell the helmet is not supposed to be there. That helmet, that is definitely first impact. Who knows if that impact caused it in particular, but that's head-on hit right there. Definitely lets you notice that the belt is out. One of them is out. And of course, at this point, two of them's out and then all the way out. So, definitely belts came off. But I'm almost wondering, was the belts already off?
I think at one point there, when he hit his head on the cage, and it probably KO'd him, which allowed him to ragdoll out.
You think so?
Which would be a good thing, because then you're just going to come out loose, and you're not going to, it's going to be less injury.
Right. Yeah, that's just insane.
But you're right. Swanson hitting him, that prevented him, landing on his head, basically. Like right there, there's a spot where you can kind of see where he probably KO'd against the top of the cage there.
You think when after Swanson hit him?
I mean, it just seems like when he's starting to inch up there, right, where he's starting to kind of rise up out of his seat, that he's kind of bobbleheading back and forth a little bit. So, boom, like at some point he could have just nailed that. See there, you see when he comes out, he's just like ragdoll.
In a way, but I don't know. How much hit do you think you got to take? Well, I would say that if you're going to get knocked out, and if these belts came undone at that hit right there, I guess you're right. He could have been knocked out at that point right there where I just stopped the video, because that little white dot you see next to that red bar is his head.
Yeah, you can see it rise up, and then see when he comes out, you can see his forearms are arching down, so he's kind of just limp.
Yeah,
his hands are rolled down too. So,
and actually, I think he's passed out, or that's why it gets so black after he slams his nose. Is because his head is just drooped in the car. I think he got knocked out right there. Bam.
Yeah, right there.
Right there, you can see it. You can't even see the top white of his helmet because his head is laid down because he's knocked out.
He hits the left side. And that KO'd him, I think.
See, his head doesn't even come back up until right there. You see where his head comes back up into the frame. See, it was down. It was down in his lap or at the steering wheel, right there, because you see the head rises up. So he was knocked out at least for a second. I don't know if he rose up back to consciousness or not, but just took a really hard hit. When you get hit in the face really hard, you kind of have that moment where, oh, that hurt, Who knows if he was completely knocked out, but right there his head's still in his lap. And then you see it come up out his lap right there before hitting the ground again. So he definitely got knocked out. If he was, like you're saying he's completely unconscious at this point. All the way. So imagine being some of these guys that are driving by. I can't really make out who they are, but they're driving by and they see a guy on the ground. Like there's 2 cars there that drive down.
Yeah. Watch those 3 that cut low. If they didn't cut low enough, they ran him over. See?
Yeah, those
we're
3
talking
saved his life, yeah.
half a car length.
Well, I mean,
or half a car width.
luckily they're trained to, turn away from a wrecking car.
Right. But now imagine if he would have flung or slid further. He would have flew right into that first car. Phew, right there.
Right. Yeah, if
Or
he
second
you're
one.
saying if he would have came out a different angle, like across the track.
Yeah, I mean, there have been nowhere to miss him.
Yeah, a lot of things went surprisingly right in this horrible situation for him to be where he's at right now, and not run over and mangled and landed on his head in a hard way if Swanson doesn't hit him. It would have been a lot worse if those things don't happen,
As much as everyone wants to cry and be woke and weep and not act like anything ever happens in life that's bad, sometimes you got to look at stuff like this for the fact that now certain situations create the opportunity to create safety so that you can now determine, well, what went wrong so that we can determine how to rectify a situation in the future.